Our brains are pattern recognition machines. We see faces in the clouds, hear voices in the static, and find deep, primal comfort in the familiar. It is a survival instinct, honed over millions of years of evolution. But what happens when a pattern is broken? When something is almost familiar, but a crucial detail is fundamentally, terrifyingly wrong? What is that strange, creeping feeling of revulsion we get from a robot that looks almost human? That deep, gut-level discomfort from a CGI character that is almost real? This is not just a matter of taste. It is a specific, measurable, and universal human response. It's a plunge into a psychological abyss, a specific region of our perception that engineers and artists have learned to fear. It has a name: the Uncanny Valley. Why almost human is worse than inhuman. The term was coined back in 1970, not by a psychologist, but by a visionary Japanese robotics professor named Masahiro Mori. In a brief but revolutionary essay published in a niche journal called Energy, he was grappling with a problem that would come to define the next 50 years of animation and robotics. As he built more advanced creations, why were people reacting with fascination up to a point, and then with sudden, inexplicable disgust? He proposed a simple, yet profound idea. As a robot's appearance moves from purely mechanical to more human-like, our emotional response to it becomes increasingly positive, but only up to a point. We admire an industrial robot for its function. We find a toy robot charming. We might even feel a connection to a humanoid robot that is clearly and intentionally stylized because our brain accepts it as a symbolic representation of a human. But Mori predicted that when a creation reaches a point where it is almost perfectly human, our affinity for it suddenly and violently plummets into the negative. This deep, sudden plunge, that is the uncanny valley. It's the point where something is so close to being human that our brain switches from appreciating the similarities and starts obsessing over the differences. The tiny imperfections, the waxy skin, the dead eyes, the unnatural movement, become magnified, transforming it from a marvel of engineering into a grotesque imitation. It can look like a reanimated corpse, a walking doll, a soulless automaton, and our brain rejects it. Hollywood, in particular, has spent billions of dollars falling into this trap. The 2001 film Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within was a landmark in computer animation, a project that took 4 years and nearly $200 million to create incredibly realistic digital actors. But audiences were repulsed. The characters were praised for their technical realism, but criticized for having no soul. Their eyes were lifeless, their expressions hollow. The film was a box office bomb, a costly lesson in the power of the uncanny valley. But the question remains, why does our brain have this powerful built-in anti-imposter system? Science has a few chilling theories. One of the most compelling theories is evolutionary, rooted in a concept known as pathogen avoidance. Our survival as a species has long depended on our ability to make snap judgments about the health of others. We needed to quickly identify healthy, suitable mates and allies, and just as importantly, avoid the sick, the genetically unfit, and the dead, all of whom could pose a threat to our survival. An entity that looks almost human but displays subtle abnormalities. A strange gait, dead eyes, mismatched facial expressions, or unnatural skin texture triggers this ancient threat detection system. Our subconscious brain isn't seeing a robot, it's seeing a walking corpse, a carrier of disease, or a dangerously malformed human. It sets off a primal alarm bell that bypasses our conscious thought and screams at us, "Stay away." That thing is not right. It is a threat to your health and the health of your tribe. Another theory points to a fundamental conflict in our perception. Our brains are hardwired to read faces for emotional cues and intent. We do it instantly, subconsciously, through a part of our brain called the fusiform gyrus. When we look at an almost human face, however, we're met with a paradox that our brain struggles to resolve. The face has all the right parts: eyes, a nose, a mouth, but it's sending all the wrong signals. There is a profound mismatch between its human appearance and its non-human behavior. Our brain expects a certain set of social and emotional cues that simply aren't there. This creates a cognitive dissonance, a processing error that we consciously experience as a feeling of deep, profound unease. It's a puzzle we can't solve, and our brain's easiest solution is to simply reject it, to feel repulsion as a defense mechanism. So if the valley is such a persistent problem, how do creators overcome it? The answer lies not in more realism, but in smart, intentional artistry. This is the great irony of the Uncanny Valley. The way out is to deliberately step back from perfect imitation. Animation studios like Pixar are masters of this. Pixar's characters are not realistic. They have exaggerated features, large eyes, simplified hands, cartoonish proportions. But they are bursting with life. The artists carefully study human emotion and movement, and then distill that essence into a stylized form. By creating a character that is symbolically human, but not literally human, they completely sidestep the valley, allowing us to connect with the character's emotions without being distracted by flawed realism. So the Uncanny Valley isn't just a quirk of robotics or a problem for animators. It is a window into the ancient, primal architecture of our own minds. A ghost in the machine of our consciousness, a relic of an evolutionary past, left over from a time when spotting the subtle difference between the living and the dead, the healthy and the sick, was a matter of life and death. It's a defense mechanism that helps us process the world, and a challenge that pushes our greatest artists to find the soul, not just the surface. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones that look almost exactly like us. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue to uncover the secrets of our world in history and beyond.